In order to get a free pass and live among humans, the Devil's Daughter is enrolled in a school and must spread chaos and convince young people to join the demons of the underworld. Today, we're going to recap the story of the 2018 movie How to Be Really Bad. In Berlin, the capital of Germany, the devil talks to one of his advisors about strategies to increase evil in the world. Contrary to what many people believe, he is not a red guy with hooves and twisted horns, but an ordinary-looking man who runs a large empire. He even has a daughter called Lilith, who spends most of her time trying to spread chaos to annoy her father. When he arrives home and sees Lilith's teacher tied to a chair, the devil is furious and releases him after lecturing his daughter. At this point, the teacher tries to resign but is forced to continue his lesson as if nothing had happened. The devil's main objective is to teach his daughter to follow in his footsteps so that she can replace him in the future. According to him, everything is allowed to tempt humans to follow the path of evil, except magic. After several years studying how to be a bad person and influence people, Lilith can't wait to put her learnings into practice, but her father says she's still too young to mix with humans. When she learns that she will have to wait until she is 18 before she can leave hell, the young woman is furious and almost sets fire to the carpet in her room. That night, while he is sleeping, the devil receives a visit from the girl, who proposes a deal to him. The young woman asks her father to let her stay with the humans for a year so that she can prove she is capable of influencing them to follow the path of darkness. On hearing this, the devil decides to take up the challenge, but says that Lilith will only be away for a week. If she proves she can do the job, she can remain in the human world. The next morning, after closing the deal with her father, the young woman is sent to a school in a small town near the capital and is told that her target is a girl called Greta Bernstein. In the car, while on his way to his final destination, the devil hands his daughter a sphere called Ener, which is capable of measuring the temperature of her emotions. Ideally, the orb should always remain black because if the color changes, it indicates that Lilith is no longer evil. Upon arriving at the Bernstein family home, Lilith is warmly welcomed by Greta and her mother, Sybil. The young woman will be staying at the house for the weekend. That evening, she sits down at the table with the whole family to eat the dinner prepared by Gabriel. After dinner, when the whole family gathers in the kitchen to wash the dishes, Lilith asks Greta to hand them over to her and drops them on the floor. Just then, Sibyl appears, and Lilith is surprised to see Greta taking the blame for the accident. When she realizes how lovingly the girl's parents have taken her in, the devil's daughter feels confused, as she didn't believe that such human beings could exist. That night, after asking a few questions, Lilith discovers that Greta doesn't have any friends and finds some photos of a young man hidden inside her closet. In the morning, Lilith refuses to cycle to school and forces Greta to accompany her on the bus. When she gets on the bus, the young woman greets her classmates, but Melody and Daria completely ignore her. Then Eddie and his friends get on the bus and start picking on the other students. When he approaches Greta, he sticks a piece of chewing gum in her hair, and Lilith decides to give him his comeuppance. After drinking Melody's perfume, she blows the flames out of a lighter and burns Eddie's hair. Frightened, the bully walks away and sits down far away from her. On arriving at the school, the young woman sees a group of people gathered around the building. The principal, who is also Eddie's father, tries to persuade Samuel to come down from the terrace. When Penhoff threatens to call the fire department, the young man decides to leave and goes to class. That day, the math teacher hands out a test to the students, and Samuel is the first to leave the classroom as he hasn't answered any questions. While everyone is trying to solve the questions, Lilith searches for the test answers on the internet and manages to copy all the calculations. However, just as she's about to hand in the test to her teacher, Greta realizes that her friend has copied the wrong answers and stuffs the sheet into her mouth. After leaving the room, Greta reveals that Lilith was carrying Test B, but had copied the answers for Test A. If Greta hadn't acted, the teacher would have found out that Lilith had cheated, and she would have risked being expelled on her first day of school. Luckily, thanks to her impeccable record, Greta is not punished. During the break, Lilith sees the young man her new friend is in love with. The problem is that Carlo is a womanizer and is always chasing